The first term of Ferdinand Marcos was marked with increased industrialization and the creation of solid infrastructures nationwide, such as the North Luzon Expressway and the Maharlika Highway. Marcos also established schools and learning institutions nationwide, more than of his predecessors combined. In 1969, he began his second term, which was marked by economic turmoil brought about by factors both external and internal, a restless student body who demanded educational reforms, a rising crime rate, and a growing communist insurgency, amongst other things.
By the early 80s, the economy had crashed. The peso had devaluated from mere 6 pesos per dollar at the beginning of the Marcos term to almost 25 per dollar. The people suspected Marcos of stealing the Philippine money and that there was only one way to end it. Marcos had to go. The Post-EDSA Macroeconomic History of the Philippines covers the period from 1986 to the present time, and takes off from the acclaimed People Power Revolution in the EDSA of Revolution of 1986 that brought democracy and development potentials back to the country that was once in the perils of the martial law era. From days, months, and even years of economic and financial collapse towards the end of the martial law era came revolution, reform, and sustenance spearheaded by the Aquino, Ramos, Estrada, and Arroyo administrations that saw the Philippines get back on track, and even though some of the violent financial and political crises, such as the succeeding EDSA revolutions, the Asian financial crisis, and the most recent bubble burst, among others. Revolutions, liberal ideas, and reforms aided the country towards robust growth, and crucial policies were conceptualized, developed, and enacted by the presidents and the advisors who support them. The period also featured the emergence of civil society as important proponents of development, trade reforms and protections, improvements in exports and export-oriented manufacturing, and decentralization as an important take-off point for regional development. A weak leadership after the revolution immediately weakened the momentum of EDSA. There was such political instability and economic deficiency.
Makaraan pagtapos ng mapayapang pagwawakas ng martial law, kagyat na hinarap ng Administrasyong Aquino ang pagsasaayos ng ekonomiya ng bansa mula sa pagkakalugmok nito sa matinding krisis noong kasagsagan ng martial law. Pangunahing naging mga hakbang ng Administrasyong Aquino ay ang pagwasak ng monopolyo ng mga kroni ni Presidente Marcos, pagsasapribado ng mga korporasyong gobyerno, liberalisasyong pangkalakalan, deregulasyon at pag-akit ng dayuhang kapital. Nagpanukala rin ang administrasyon ng iba't ibang polisiyang lubos na nakatulong sa pagbangon ng ekonomiya ng bansa. Isa na rito ang pagtatatag ng Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program noong June 1988 na naglalayong ipamahagi ang mga lupang pang-agrikultura sa ating bansa sa loob ng 10 taon. Naglunsad rin ang administrasyon ng mga reforma sa kalakalan na naglalayong paunlarin ang export growth at foreign trade ng bansa. Muli ring isinaayos ng administrasyon ang National Economic Development Agency o NEDA noong July 22, 1987 at ang Philippine Exporters Confederation o PhilExport noong October 1991. Matapos ang ilang taong panunungkulan ng administrasyon, naging kapansin-pansin ang paglago ng ekonomiya ng bansa. Kasabay ng pagbabagong ito ang unti-unting pagsasaayos ng kondisyong politikal ng bansa. Sa puntong ito, naging malakas ang piso, muling nanumbalik ang mga dayuhang namumuhunan sa bansa at naging maganda ang takbo ng kalakalan sa buong bansa. Ngunit, sa kabila ng mga pagbabagong ito, naging kapansin-pansin pa rin ang kahirapan sa bansa, partikular na sa sektor ng mga mahihirap, dulot ng budget cuts, inflation at tumataas na unemployment rate sa bansa, pagkat masyadong natuon ang administrasyon sa pagsasaayos ng imahe ng bansa at pagbabayad utang. Sa puntong ito, mas lalong lumaki ang agwat ng mayaman at mahirap noong 1987 hanggang 1991 na sumasalamin sa dilubusang pagsasaayos ng ekonomiya ng bansa noong administrasyon ni Pangulong Aquino.
Ramos administration basically served its role as a carrier of the momentum of reform and as an important vehicle in hastening the pace of liberalization and openness in the country. The administration was a proponent of capital account liberalization, which made the country more open to foreign trade, investments, and relations. Other significant policies are the formation of the LEDAC, the Electric Power Crisis Act, and the establishment of the Central Bank of the Philippines. By 1992, the Philippine economy had a huge budget deficit. Ramos had to resort to institutional changes through structural policy reforms. Because of this, the country was able to sustain growth for a while. However, the Asian crisis contagion, which started from Thailand and Korea, began affecting the Philippines. The Ramos administration basically continued the prior actions for infrastructures and industry dispersal and also dealt with population management. Because Ramos was wholly focused on institutional reform in an attempt to make the Philippines globally competitive, the rural sector's interest was not represented much. In the end, the Philippine economy under the Ramos administration gained recognition in breaking out of its deficit-laden stature in Asia. His reforms have brought broad spillover effects on the rest of the economy and possible positive long-term effects on economic growth.
Estrada's administration was severely criticized for cronyism, incompetence, and corruption, causing it to lose the confidence of foreign investors. Another characteristic is the social unrest brought about by numerous bombing threats. Actual bombings, kidnappings, and other criminal activities contributed to the economy's trouble. Despite such setbacks, the rate of GNP in 1999 increased to 3.6% from 0.1% in 1998, and the GDP posted a 3.2% growth rate, up from a low of negative 0.1% in 1998. The peso was 44 to the dollar in 1998 and recovered by 38 to a dollar the following year. The interest rates were 28% in 1998 and came down to 14% by 1999. President Joseph Estrada attempted to resist protectionist measures, and efforts to continue the reforms begun by the Ramos administration made significant progress.